Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. At first glance, everything in my life looked flawless. I had the house, the stability, the relationship people often envied, but deep inside, there was an emptiness I could never explain to anyone. Nights felt the loneliest, especially when silence stretched across the walls, and I would lie awake staring into the dark. My partner was present physically, but absent in every way that mattered. Conversations had turned into lifeless exchanges, gestures carried no tenderness, and the warmth I longed for was buried under routine. Midnight became the hour when my heart ached the most, when I wished for someone to simply notice me, to hold me with meaning. Over time, the simple act of leaving the front door slightly unlatched became a habit I didn't think twice about. It felt like a strange reflection of my inner life, something left ajar, unfinished, waiting for something unexpected to enter. I told myself it was nothing, just carelessness, but deep down I knew it mirrored the cracks forming in my commitment. The life I had built was starting to feel like a beautiful shell hiding a restless soul. That quiet, empty doorway would soon become the opening to everything I never thought possible. That IT started with something as harmless as conversation. A colleague noticed the exhaustion in my eyes, asked questions my partner no longer bothered to, and listened with genuine interest. That small attention felt intoxicating. Messages turned into late-night exchanges, and each word carried the kind of intimacy I had been starved of. The thrill of being seen, admired, and desired drew me closer, until I was measuring time by the moments spent with this new presence. What began as emotional refuge soon spilled into physical closeness, and every embrace whispered the validation I craved. With every secret meeting, I convinced myself I was only filling a void, not destroying anything. Yet the guilt lingered like a shadow, and still, the hunger for affection kept pulling me back. Midnight became the hour of indulgence, the time when stolen conversations or hurried kisses felt most alive. The more I surrendered to temptation, the more careless I grew at home. Locking doors, keeping order, paying attention. All of it faded behind the rush of secrecy. What once was a simple oversight turned into a dangerous pattern, each night blurring responsibility with reckless desire. The boundaries I once swore to honor were quietly dissolving, just like the door I left unclosed. That night, temptation had drained every ounce of my caution. I returned home later than usual, mind clouded with the lingering scent of another's embrace, and pushed the door shut without checking the lock. Sleep came quickly, but at midnight the silence broke. A faint creak echoed through the hall, sharp enough to pull me from half-dreams. At first, I blamed my restless mind, but then the air shifted. A presence lingered where it shouldn't have. My heart pounded against my ribs as footsteps moved closer, careful yet deliberate. The careless door, left ajar in my distraction, was no longer harmless. Shadows felt alive, swallowing every ounce of reason, and terror mingled with guilt in ways I couldn't untangle. Each sound reminded me that danger had found its way in, not only into my home but into the fragile life I had been living. The very act of leaving the door open, once a trivial habit, now threatened everything. I strained to breathe, ears tuned to the stillness between movements, realizing the mistake wasn't just about a forgotten lock. It was the culmination of every line crossed, every truth abandoned. The midnight hour had arrived, demanding payment for choices I thought would stay hidden. The figure that entered through the unlatched door was not a stranger. In the dim light, I recognized the quiet, restrained fury of the one I had betrayed. My partner had known more than I believed, had pieced together the late nights, the secret of smiles, and the careless mistakes. The open door was not just an accident. It became the stage for a truth I could no longer deny. Silence weighed heavier than shouting, every second stretching into unbearable judgment. In that stillness, the terror was not of what might be taken from me by force, but of what I had already destroyed with my choices. The life I had tried to balance between longing and deceit collapsed with that single discovery. My partner's eyes, colder than the midnight air, told me that trust had been shattered beyond repair. I realized then that infidelity does not only break hearts, it leaves openings for fear, regret, and consequences to walk in uninvited. The midnight door became a symbol of everything I had left unattended: love, loyalty, and security. What slipped through was irreversible. I learned too late that once a door is left open, You can never truly control what will enter.